it's this place that's like a pretty ritzy place downtown. So you have to be
stupid name.
At
what?
At what time do you need to be there?
It's like, let's say on the later side, like 9.
Okay. So what do? You said you're going to Crime Alley?
I have to swing by Crime Alley before I go. Before I go to this date. So, oh man, this was poorly planned. So I'm dressed very well. Let's say I'm wearing just like a red cocktail dress kind of thing. But I'm dressed in something over top. Like I'm wearing another skirt and
What is your internal monologue saying as you are going down to Crime Alley?
Why did I let Jackie talk me into this stupid date again? To going on one of these stupid dates again. I feel oddly better in Crime Alley than I do about going to the Elbow and Jaw pub tonight. I feel like I have a better idea of what to expect in Crime Alley than what I do at the Elbow and Jaw pub tonight.
So are you driving down to Crime Alley in your own vehicle?
No, I'm going to take a cab.
Okay. Says, let's say it's like 140th Avenue or 157 Avenue. It says 150. Lady, you're going to Crime Alley? Are you sure?
Just go.
It's your business. And so he just drives and doesn't say anything the rest of the way. He drops you off the corner, and he just like as soon as you pay him, he kind of drives right out of there.
I want him to stay there.
Oh.
I want him to drive me to my date after I pick this thing up.
It's going to cost you extra.
Just stick around. Give me 10 minutes.
Whatever you say. I'm not going to come out and rescue you or anything, though.
Don't worry about it.
So he's like, he is not happy about this. But if you tip him enough money, he'll stick around and he's like just watching, looking at his phone, just like looking around all the time. Because he's got the doors locked.
I sent a message to Monstrosity as we were arriving in Crime Alley. And I just pick a fairly let's say a fairly open spot that's close to the fringe of Crime Alley kind of thing, like one of the sort of more recognizable and more open kind of areas, because I am in my mundane kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like you are not the only woman in evening dress in this open area. And in fact, there's a cluster of them, and before too long, one of them kind of walks over to you and says, "You can't be working here."
I'm just out for a walk, and I just keep walking down the street.
Going for a walk, she starts mimicking you. But she stops as she kind of arrives at or cluster, and you walk past them. But there's a couple of men who are do not stop walking in the same direction as you as you're walking down the street. And do you leave this open space, or are you going to continue walking down?
The plan is to not walk too far, just sort of do laps around this sort of well lit kind of area, and sending Monstrosity some messages, just like, I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm here.
Okay. So there are some cat calls starting to come at you as soon as you get close to the edge of this kind of open space. And if you continue walking, they will continue following. But if you ever stop walking, they're going to approach you and say, "Hey, you're looking mighty fine tonight."
I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna tell them that I'm an undercover cop, and they just better keep walking. I'm not looking for them. I'm looking for somebody else.
No need to get serious. What do you mean, man? I mean to get serious with her. And there's a couple that are kind of come up behind you as.
Oh, more.
Yeah. I'm doing your high heels. You hear a very familiar sound. The shtick, and we see the panel is of a hand holding a switchblade.
Of course.
Where you going? Hey, just want to get acquainted, get to know you.
Have I been able to see her by this point?
I think you have some moves, don't you? Do you have that one unlocked yet, or no?
How do you mean?
I just want to name one of the moves here because it's pretty awesome. Unstoppable. I guess smashing through scenery. You can't just declare that you're there, but.
I'm assuming I've seen her coming. I'm aware that she's like in the neighborhood. I think I'd like to be the monster to frighten off these creeps.
Great. All right, describe what you do.
I pull back my hood and put my arm around her and say,
okay,
she's with me.
How do you arrive on the scene? Because right now it's just her and these guys.
I'll say I've been waiting in an alley nearish by, and I pop out when I smell her coming.
All right, and so you see this situation developing, and what do? You kind of lope towards it, and
I step out of the alley. I come towards these guys, and I tell them to back off. And I pull back my hood,
and you've got your big eyes. And what is the scariest thing about your face?
Oh, definitely my eyes. My eyes are enormous.
Okay. And
It's yellow.
you kind of look around at them all and you look at them and you say, back off. All right, roll your move.
Back off.
All right. Rolling
What's
3.
your voice like? Is it different from a human voice? I haven't really talked about that.
You know what? I think I got a growly voice.
It's got to be extra. It's got to be a little extra somehow.
Double 3 plus 3 is 9.
Okay, you get to choose 2 from the list. There.
I frighten others that I have not intended to scare, and I guess I break something I shouldn't have.
Who shouldn't you have hurt? Okay, I totally know what it is then. And I think those 2 will roll together. You land there and oh, it's the monster! Get out of here! And they kind of run off and scatter. Let me just look at the move again. On a hit, they're thrown off and make themselves vulnerable, or they flee. Yeah, so they just run off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just you 2, and there's a couple of people who are kind of further down the way who are a little freaked out, but they all just kind of scatter and get out of sight real quick. It's just you 2 now. What do you do?
I look at her and say, is somebody getting married or what?
Sure as hell hope not.
You couldn't have worn something a little more discreet?
Side note, I realized that I should have come in as the Vixen. This is real dumb. It's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Where's the thing?
I give her his wallet and the device, and I say his name was Barry. He arranged the abduction attempt on the governor.
Was?
They got him.
These people really mean business, don't they?
Right, so.
Okay. Well, I'll bring it to Martin. We'll let you know over the next couple of days what we know, what we can find out.
Enjoy whatever it is you're going to.
Fat chance. So I'm gonna head back to my cab.
As you around the corner where you had left the cab, you realize it's not there anymore.
Of course.
There are little tracks where you burned rubber to get out of there real quick as soon as you saw you involved in something going down the street. Somebody got hurt that he didn't mean to.
I'll turn back to Monstrosity and ask, can you give me a lift out of here?
There, Monstrosity, or did you leave?
Peace out.
She walked off and went around the corner.
I'll say, this is Crime Alley. I do think I stick around to see her leave safely. So
You're kind of watching from a distance, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
She gets in the corner and then she looks over her shoulder. She's looking around.
I know you're there. Can I see him, or at least know sort of where he is? Can you give me a ride out of here?
I mean, are you making an effort to be hidden?
Am I making an effort to be hidden?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of always, but yeah.
Okay. And that would probably be a use of your powers, right? Your freaky lizard powers. Okay. Roll to unleash your powers.
Four and 3 plus 3 on freak is 10.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you can't spy him. He's nowhere to be seen. It's like the place where he was at the mouth of the alley is just wasn't there. The other people who were in the open space that you crossed through are now kind of making their way out. They're looking out and they're coming back out into the street. What do you do?
I guess I offer her a ride on my motorbike.
So you pull up on your motorcycle.
Can't promise we're not going to draw our attention to ourselves.
Just get me to the edge of this place so a cab will come get me.
You got it. And I do that. I take her to a more reputable part of town, in whatever direction she asks me to go, and I guess I let her off wherever she wants to get off.
Sure, and it's actually not far from Barry's low-rise, where you end up letting her off.
Oh boy, okay. I guess I assume that there must be cops around there looking because there's a half exploded body in the.
I mean, there were earlier in the day for sure.
Oh, they're gone now?
When was that happened? That was early this morning.
Last night.
Yeah,
that was
12 hours ago. Yeah, so I mean,
this morning.
There's a patrol car parked out there, and there's police tape marking off the alley. That's about all the presence that's still there. The investigation has already taken place.
Okay, once we're about a block past it, I slow down and point towards it and say that that's where I got it. That's where he lived. In case you want to check it out at your leisure.
I'll keep it in mind. Thanks for everything back there.
No problem. It's good to talk to somebody who isn't scared of me.
Likewise.
Right. I drop her off on the outskirts of Crime Alley.
Good. So you can hail a cab. You can get to your date, but you will be at least half an hour to 45 minutes late.
Of course. Um, yeah, I'll still go.
Okay. Yeah, you arrive, and you see, of course, Jackie has a big smile plastered on her face, and she's like hanging on Brian's arm, and like making jokes and laughing a little bit too loudly. And then she sees you, and there's just this moment where she sees you, and it's just like faces like daggers looking at you, and then like back to happy and smiling and saying, "Oh, Renee, you're here. So glad you made it. What happened? Why are you so late?"
I am so sorry, you guys. There's another bar on the other end of town that's called the Jaw and Elbow. And that's where the cab took me in the first place. So I am so sorry, but I hope you'll apologize.
Like Brian pretty well. He laughs because like he knows that you're joking, right? Were you working late again? He says.
Every day.
Well, let us introduce you to.
I gotta write this down, otherwise I will forget you.
Wayne. No. Yeah. Wayne. I can't read my writing. It says Hammer, but I don't think Hammer is a good name. Wayne Gray. He's totally named Wayne Gray. Let me introduce you to Wayne Gray, Dr. Wayne Gray, and Jackie interrupts us. Dr. Wayne Gray. Don't forget honorifics. My goodness, Brian. And you look over, and he is a good-looking dude. And he kind of nods and he smiles at you, and he's quite polite. He says, "Yeah, I'm glad you could make it." He kind of laughs. Pleased to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well.
Okay. And he happens to be the doctor who he's in a private practice, but his gig is occupational health and safety. And he tells you that very reluctantly. You ask. Occupational health and safety, he says.
Why do you say it like that, Dr. Gray?
Most people, their eyes tend to glaze over as soon as I mention that. So,
do you enjoy your work, Doctor?
I do. It's wonderful. It's good to be of service to the community, and you'd be surprised how important it is. And it goes in directions you might not expect. Oh, Jack, he says, "Oh, tell her about the attack on the warehouse that you were involved in." So, Brian starts laughing. Dr. Wayne says, "Oh, I wasn't involved in it, but yeah, there was an attack on a warehouse. One of those crazy supers came by, and they wanted to steal things, and so I was involved in a proposal to try and predict and accommodate for workplace safety when there are supers."
How can you best accommodate a hostage situation? Wow. That's really at your pay grade, isn't it, Doctor?
Afterward, making sure there was a plan in place. surprisingly, there weren't very many injuries. The super involved ended up using a lot of robotics. I was a consultant, but most of it ended up being on the security side. So I just ended up taking care of the mental health and making sure there was an emergency response plan in place for the workers.
Was that associated with the Harrison Woods warehouse incident that I've read about?
Harrison Woods? No, it was the
Just sorry, quick aside. Is Harrison Woods this greasy mayoral candidate that we were talking about at one point?
What's that?
Is Harrison Woods the greasy mayoral candidate we were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Just sort of clarifying.
And the warehouse that he's talking about is the the Wagner and Sons automotive manufacturing plant.
Well, what kind of things did you have to help them to do? How much do you know about how that hostage situation played out?
I mean, how much do you want to know? Occupational health and safety. Can I buy you a drink? He says. He's pretty eager to change the subject. I mean, if you press, he'll tell you a little bit, but I mean, he's just shop talking, right? He's talking about emergency response plans, talking about how they need to have access to on-site medical facilities, and he recommended a 24-hour emergency response team, but they shot that down because it was too expensive to pay for that, and instead they ended up going with a private, they call it the dock wagon. They go in with a private thing. And so he's just like kind of rambling on like the health side of that kind of situation. Now, I don't think you have this move yet, but there's a move in your... Yeah, so never mind. You can't use the mild-mannered, but you wouldn't want to, because I don't think you're trying... You might be trying to deceive him, but... Yeah, what are you trying to get some information here?
I feel, I mean, when you were telling me about it, I felt like it was kind of difficult to get any information about what actually went down within the warehouse business.
Or like if you are trying to it sounds like you're trying to get information from him. I think to actually give you information, I would need you to assess the situation. So I want you to roll plus superior.
Okay. Assessing the situation. Damn it. 6.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way that the monstrosity could help you at this stage. So unless you can think of something, if you can, I'm open to it. But what did I say? You keep like asking a question. What are some of the questions that you ask this fellow?
Well, what happened with the warehouse was kept under wraps, but it was something that I was interested to learn a little bit more about when I heard about it. Do you know anything about what happened? Who did it? Anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, not much more than what anyone might have heard in the news. That it wasn't like this person left a business card, right? It's just one of those crazy super terrorists calls herself the Anarch or something. I mean, and that's the weird thing about doing it as a job is like you can't predict what powers the next super terrorist is going to have, but you can always make sure that the people are safe, right? Kind of shifts a little bit. What's the next question you're asking?
Do you know what they got? The people who did perform the crime. What did they get away with?
What do you mean? Like the materials that they stole? I don't know. You'd have to check a shipping manifest or something. He kind of looks at you weird. And at that point, Jackie is like, hey, I need to go freshen up. With me?
Yeah, Jackie, I'm with you.
She brings you to she basically drags you to the washroom. She's like, what are you doing? It's not like you're at work right now. I understand being interested in a job, but you're like grilling this poor man. You see, you're making him uncomfortable.
Can't you see you're making me uncomfortable?
Okay. You failed a roll. Every time you fail a roll, don't forget to mark potential. Have there been any failed rolls since the robots? And Jeff, this goes for you too.
Yeah.
Have there been any failed rolls since then? You remember?
You got the snake eyes.
Or less? Yeah, snake eyes. So
Yeah.
when you fail a roll, you get to mark potential. So don't forget to do that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And when you get to all 5 of your potential boxes marked, let me know and we'll talk about what advancement looks like, because that'll be
Okay.
new territory. What are you each at?
I believe I'm at 2.
2, Joe?
Yeah, I didn't count anything from our first match, so I'm at 2 as well.
Okay. Did you fail anything? You failed.
I marked a potential from telling Monstrosity my name.
Okay.
And then just now, trying to assess the situation during my blind date very poorly.
Yeah. Okay. As long as you keep track of it, because I will not remember. Okay.
Yep.
But think about it this way: your characters learn from failure.
Yeah.
So if you
That's
fail,
what it sounds like.
you learn something, and you can. There's a little bonus for even if you fudge a roll.
Do we have to keep track of what the failures are?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's just that you mark potential because you've learned something, kind of a thing. And it's just, I'm just planting that seed because it'll help you to remember, because I will not. Sometimes I might, but
Yeah,
you got to take your own character for the most part. All right. Yeah, I see it's midnight here, so we better wrap this up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gives you a hard time, and she's complaining like, I don't know what's with you. You work all the time. You can't just unplug. You've changed so much since I don't want to bring it up, but since your dad passed away, I feel like I'm losing you. Come on, let's just go and have a few drinks, have a good time, talk to some good-looking guy. I'm not asking a lot from you, my girl.
Sure, Jackie. You're right. Let's go have fun.
And so yeah, she kind of shrugs, whatever. And you freshen up, and then you go back to the table. And is there anything else you want to do for the evening?
Well, if I may be permitted, I would like to find the guy who flashed the switchblade and break his hand.
Whoa! All right. So how do you find him?
I head back to the spot where it happened, and I follow his scent.
Okay. Yeah, and it's kind of confused because there were several of them. So roll to unleash your powers, and we'll see what happens.
And I just clarify something for me. I'm currently have angry and guilty, and for clearing those, I need to break something for being angry.
You're using conditions. That's so harsh, but fair enough.
That's funny. It's really funny.
It's in keeping with the tone that we're setting, right? It's kind of a noir. Like there's like.
Okay, that's 9 on the roll with plus 3 on freak, so 12.
You do it. I mean, it takes you a few seconds to figure out which is him. And he's got this, like, he's got a little bit of a man stank to him, and it's just like, oh, and just makes you even more angry. And you go and find him. He is loitering outside of one of these. Basically like slum buildings, right? They're like low-rise apartments. They're in terrible shape. And he's outside one of the doors, and he's talking to one of these prostitutes, right? And he's yelling, just like talking really aggressively to her. And when you are approaching the scene,
okay,
and don't come back until I can see some progress, he says.
Okay. Okay. I try to like sneak up behind him, grab that finger that he's pointing at her with, and just like really just like crush it in my hand. And
what are you trying to accomplish in breaking his hand?
What's that?
Like you're trying to hurt him? Are you trying to get him to do something or not do something?
I think he needs to learn some manners.
Okay, so I think you're provoking him. Yeah, I'm gonna say that you can, like, your unleashing your powers roll was so good that you can. We're just gonna roll your sneaking up on him into that. You can break his hand, but you need to provoke.
But yeah, the overall goal of him learning some manners and some respect for women.
Roll well.
So you're rolling superior.
Yes. Superior is 0, so I'm just going with the there. 7.
Okay. So for an NPC, they can choose one. I mean, they're not really good choices. They stumble, you get +1 forward against them. Let's say that. It's like, he's just screaming in pain as you have his hand broken. And he looks up at you and he sees your giant eyes and your purple, scaly face. What do you say to him?
I don't want to see you flashing blades at the ladies in this neighborhood ever again. You hear me?
And he's like, there's nothing intelligible coming out of his mouth. Yeah. Are you gonna wait around for him to say something smart, or are you gonna disappear into the shadows? The lady who's in front of him screams, runs away down the street.
Oh, no. If his hand is broken, I think I'll be on my way.
Okay. So if you see this guy again, and we might generalize it, like there's a lot of scum on Crime Alley. But certainly this guy and anyone associated with him, you get a +1 against him and his friends or anyone connected to him going forward.
Woot.
Write that down somewhere because I might forget.
+1 against Blade.
Place. Yeah. What is the place that he is outside of? Can you think of a good? Is there anything street that you can think of? What are some of the names of the buildings or apartments down there? Let's say Harcourt Tower.
Sure.
And it's not. It's like a low rise. It's not like a big. It's an actual tower.
It's like 2 or 3 floors. Calling it a tower is generous, but.
And we're gonna call this guy the Harcourt Pimp.
Okay.
Although he may not be the only one. Who knows?
Fair enough.
Call it there.
I'm good with calling it there.
Thanks for playing tonight, guys. What did you think of the game so far?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah. Is it kind of getting the vibe that you were hoping for?
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. I'm really digging the detective side of things, like where you're like piecing together things. You don't get the answer right handed up to you, but you get a few opportunities here and there. Right now, what do we have? We have a phone and a RFID tag, and we have that your Martin's gonna be able to deal with, and we also have a little bit of information that you got from your job about the libel suit, and then from your beau, he doesn't know what they were after, but I mean he mentioned that you could get the information from like the shipping manifest or the what do you call it, inventory list from the,
like an inventory. Yeah
you could probably distill that information from that kind of intelligence if you were to get it. So you have a few avenues for investigation. We'll see where that leads you next time you play.
Sweet.
Any final words?
No, thank you.
Joe, does the little changes we made seem to match your character pretty well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't end up rolling a lot of moves, a lot of character-specific moves. It was mostly basic moves once we were just gathering the intelligence. But I look forward to seeing some straight-up creeping.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be some of that.
You two are both pretty creepy, so I think.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of shadows.
I like to think that he owns it.
He's just like, kind of likes being creepy.